Alright. Welcome, welcome. Let's see if this works. Alright, welcome. How you guys doing? I'm clicking a bunch of stuff, so sorry about that. Over here. Gotta pay attention to what I am doing. Okay. Good. Just one little sec. That's not right. Oh well. Won't be able to do that then. Try to share it to Discord, but I can't get the link in time for you. What else? Let's do this. I'll get right with you. That's okay. Okay, great. I think we loaded it, so welcome. And that'll be later. Well, I got that, so that was good. Okay. I did it on Twitter. Got it on Twitter, but I couldn't get it on Discord for some reason. Okay. Couldn't get the link for it. But that's okay. Welcome. That's a weird start. Okay. Hello. Hi, Star and Flamer. How you guys doing? I've had a pretty weird, morning. So, may have heard, maybe not, but, this morning I posted a little comic, like a 4-panel comic to my Twitter. I could just show you. Boop. Here's the work file for it. It actually push. It, got a lot more popular than I thought, which is ironic because I really only spent like 3 or 4 hours really working on this. I worked on this last night, and it was really, really quick job. It was just really just like quick and dirty, just like I have an idea, woof, and just sat down and just went woof the whole time to get it done. It was not the prettiest, but some people like it. I mean, right now on Twitter, how many people like it? Let's check that out. Yeah, only 500 people like it right now, so you know, that is crazy. I've never been viral like that, so thank you. Whoever like retweeted it and had a lot of followers. That's probably mostly likely what it was, but still appreciate it. I've never, yeah, experienced something like that. So, yeah, it was real quick. A lot of people. Okay, great. Yeah. Well, this sign seems new. Yes, the sign and obviously the text and other bits here and there. But the pony puppets and the backgrounds are all canned, if you want to say it like that. It was just really fun to like make this. This one was the hardest one to make. There's a lot of layers in here. I could show the sketch. How would I show that? There it is. Forgot how I made this. My original sketch for this was having Derpy's like head be in front, but I realized that there was not enough room. I tried it where I had Derpy's head in front, and then like her neck was like all the way back here, like whoa over there, and I was like, that's a bit much to be like that. So I decided that it worked just as well, and probably even better, to have her head behind. But the way that I had to like split it up was just insane. Of like Derpy's head, I had to like separate each layer. You don't see the size, so it doesn't really matter with that. But like each of these layers here was like split up on the timeline outside and then broken apart, just so I can have it in front and be layered in between with the hug. The hug needed to be layered in between amethyst, so be in front and behind. So I think this works pretty well, but yeah, there was still a lot of troubleshooting and a lot of more thinking to a lot of this still. So that was a big one. I like this little small detail with this one, is that the coin has a little shine that goes through it. Not sure any people saw this, but it has a little shiny bit. Yep. It doesn't make the coin too. So I had to do that animation as well. So there you go. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you're right, Cookie. I was making something really quick for fun, being way more popular than what I spent ages on. So hopefully the movie doesn't flop that bad. I'm still gonna try and make it, but it's it's a little like spur of the moment. Like I didn't even really say the inspiration for this was that when I was driving home from the Super Bowl, I visited family at someone else's house, or at least my family's other family. I went to my grandparents' house and tried to drive to their house, and then on the way back to my house, I saw a billboard, and it pretty much had something like this, where it had buy one get one. I totally forgot what the company's what the company is, so wasn't the best marketing. If all I took away from it was the buy one get one, and it just like led into like, well, what if it's really actually you buy one and then you get one, but not actually you don't get two things. You're actually buying a thing that you get, more so. So it is more just buy get one instead. So, yeah. Followed up. I'm sure it'll have to be like more. When I get like inspiration like that, will be more, rather than like I'm trying to make a sequel, or I'm gonna make something new. It's just like I don't really, think like that. So, hopefully, blink. This won't be like lightning, where it'll only strike once, but hopefully I'll have more stuff along the way. So this is my new initiative to do more smaller projects like this, to essentially just fill the gap between the movie, because I want to make the movie priorities. So that means gotta spend more time on it, which means that it's not much content usually. So when things come up like this, where I get the inspiration, it's just like I'm gonna do it, and then upload it real quick. So that's all that can happen. Is there logic behind it? I don't know. It feels like it's weird, because like your passion projects are like either so grand that people might see like the scope of it and then not really think twice about it. But if it's just like this quick thing of like, more like comfort food, where you just eat it really quick, rather than like I'm gonna sit down and watch this 10-minute masterpiece, which I'm doing, but it's easier to digest these small little bits than sit down and like, not really watch it like a movie. When you're on your phone, you're not gonna watch, hopefully, a whole movie, but you'll be able to watch like 100 mini movies instead. So something like that, and it's just like the roll of the dice of whether an influencer or someone popular, in this case, retweets it. I can't even say it. Retweets it. There you go. That then creates the snowball effect of it just getting bigger and bigger. So, Is there a term for doing something as your first work? Oh, then you don't have to follow the next piece. I don't know how you would be able to do a masterpiece on your first work. I'm sure like Star Wars might have been really tricky. Like how do you follow that up? So I just kind of had to follow along with the story more and like try to see if there's something to work with, and then going from there. But yeah, that's but obviously that wasn't George Lucas's first movie. Like they started out with that first that car movie that no one cares about. So I think so. It's just your first work, then that just implies that when you're a baby, then you draw a Mozart, so that's where it gets me with that. But I get like the sequel you know, where it's hard to like think of a sequel or try to make something as epic or as adjective as you had your first one. So, American Graffiti, yes, it was before it grew out server. So, some people know about it, but I think I should get back onto here because we have time to work on this a little bit. If you haven't been following along or anything, I can show you storyboard while I do this. It's not exactly timed out, but should give you a better sense of what's going on with this. Back to camping. And then it loops, so then it starts back up again. Yeah. I know that I've had that kind of feeling where, how am I supposed to follow up on this? You know, I must have made like Derpy Test, like 2015. And then I was like, how am I supposed to, you know, that got popular a little bit later, but then it's like, oh, well, that got popular. Am I supposed to make more something that would fit the tags of what you liked on this one? So, obviously at the time I knew that Derpy Test was not quite the best crafted animation, so I just kind of said, okay, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'll go back to basics, you know, or I was already knee deep in the next video, so with the pony models, so that was a little bit different with that, but you know. I haven't really anything like a first movie being a hit and then your first movie. One in a wonder, I suppose. Yeah, in that kind of sense where you really only, you know, home run once and then no one really cares about you afterward. That's pretty sad though. First thing to hit, but hi kitty. Never expected it to be, and don't know how to follow it up. Don't expect it to be a big hit? That's a little different, yeah. Or like you don't expect it to be this big hit. If that's a little bit different, I think, how you say it. Because I can always expect, like, I'll expect, you know, whatever I'm doing here to be a mega hit. But then if it doesn't, then, you know, I'm letting myself down by having big aspirations and for it. But if I, you know, set my bar low, you know, always, and then it becomes popular, and then it'll be like, wow, look, I got one tweet or like or whatever. That's pretty cool. That's usually what happens. Is that the usually when I do these loops or small things or comics and stuff, then usually the Twitter would get like maybe like 0 to 1 likes, but then my DeviantArt would get like 5 to 10, and it's like, okay, you know, that got the audience kind of shifted more towards DeviantArt. So, but for this one with this comic, visual reference, it performed billion% more basically than DeviantArt. Where DeviantArt I think only had like 1 or 2 likes or favorites, but then 500 likes on Twitter. So it's like, God, you know, I didn't expect that shift to happen. So, make hundreds before you make a hit. Next thing is says wired fusion 2.5 for yourself. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go ahead and start animating this to see where we are. So I'm gonna make Rarity in a hat and a scarf. So that's probably what we're gonna be doing the whole time if we keep talking about stuff like that. So okay, this is Rarity backpack. This has hat inside head. So I just gotta get my cat sketch layer and start to work on this. Okay, here we go. We're making motion. We're making a hat. Probably just make it like a Applejack type hat. We'll see. Might be easier if it's just Rarity to just play with. There we go. Okay. So I like to sketch things out with the brush and then make a very nice, perfect line in a way, or at least the least amount of something happened. I went into the tree symbol. I don't even know how I did that. Least amount of bumps or least amount of points to move around. So, okay. Yeah. Hang on one tick so I can get pretty far with this so I can read your stuff. Okay. Urban Dictionary. Well, that doesn't always help, but that's a good start. I actually got a had to use Urban Dictionary recently. I had a commissioner that is based in Australia. I probably told you about that person, but in one email we were talking with email, and at one time they were like, "Yeah, I can." Because of our time differences, you know, we're not able to always be up at the same time. Like, we're nearly a whole day different. And then I was like, yeah. But then they were like, oh yeah, it's because of the... So maybe I'll talk to you in the Arvo or something like that, where it just got talked about Arvo, A-R-V-O. And I was like, I'm not going to sound dumb, you know, by asking him, replying like, what's an Arvo? You know, I've known people who did that, and it gets annoying. So I just kind of just Googled it and found out that it's apparently a very Australian saying, short for afternoon. So there you go with that. That it's an abbreviation for that. So it's awful with that, but I don't know about other or like more specific things like that, where like you're trying to find a term rather than stumbling upon it kind of thing. So it's 12 hours. Yeah, mine's like 19, so I don't know how that works. Well, I guess it depends on what place in Australia as well. Like Australia has, what do you know, different time zones. Yep. Let's make a hole. Kind of like this, and then we do the opposite way. So that'll grade this hole up here. Get rid of that. That's just wearing a hat. Hat. And let's put more down on her. There you go. That looks pretty well. Alright, just gotta make this kind of quick. Not as quick as the comic, but like, you know, get things moving along kind of thing, you know. So everything should be still inside the head, so that's good. Okay. I put the... What's the head is? It's already all. So I have to make this a duplicate. And call it backpack. And then bring it back to normal, and then get rid of the hat, because I did that wrong. I forgot to make it a duplicate. Anyway. Boop boop boop. Oh, you're the guy who... That's what it means. I mean, it might be in some ways better to just ask, because then it might be, you know, it's like a conversation where you just kind of just, you know, just being inquisitive of how the conversation is going, so we both be on the same page, kind of thing. But I guess it's probably better etiquette to like not really to, or at least just drone on about it. I don't know. You can be on these streams and my brain is just not always here. Should it be color coordinated with her hat? That'd be the same color. Maybe more yellowy. There you go. Yeah. I would just figure it out by my own. But it might be better to just ask in other cases where you'll more likely get more accurate to the situation. What's it called? Context better? A lot better context if you ask inside the same conversation, you know. Because then it'll be exactly what you're looking for. Rather than just hoping online that going through a bunch of definitions. But luckily Arvo was like, you know, like the #1 thing. So that made that easier. But I see in like other places that might be a little bit trickier. So I wouldn't rely on it that much, but it's a good source. I don't know what I'm saying, but you get it. Let's add the other one. It's on top so I can see it. Let me see what you got. Boop boop boop. I said British accent, I realized it. Yeah. Languages like that where they get too like that where you have your own language practically at that point. Even if it's like, you know, it's English, but we can't really understand what they're saying. Or like you have too many, boy, we gotta get the grits on the bobby. And it's like, what? None of those are common words to other people. Boop boop. You probably didn't realize. That's true. That I'm sure it's a regular thing. You know, it's like us saying whatever we say. You know, really regularly. It has to be pink cat. Don't do that. Should be stylish with that. So a nice pink. There you go. That's a pink cat. Excuse me. People's don't Google what words mean if people say them just in case something offensive. Yeah, that's true. You might not know what I meant. Yeah, that's what I was sort of alluding to, that you probably don't want to know. A lot of those are... Even like if you just, you know, do the innocent kind of words on Urban Dictionary, it'll always still come up with something offensive, and it's just like, but you also had the same word, but it didn't have that meaning. So, that was weird. It comes up more than you think, but yeah. Ah, she's styling. What does Rainbow Dash say in Gen 3? Darling. There you go. I forgot what she says. I would need to remember that, but let's see. So she should be ready. There we go. Let's see. I don't see storyboard for what Rarity looks like. There she is. So she's gonna be a little bit confused here. Let's see if I need arms here. That's what Sweetie Belle's doing. You'll do not that. It's Rarity is confused. Okay, here we go. I think that Adobe's resets a lot of Adobe Animate like resets a lot of like features, like even if you don't want them to, like the frame picker, like it has a button to like create a keyframe automatically. So if like in the middle of a timeline, and if you like start to say here like, oh, I need to change this to a different frame, it can like automatically create a keyframe for you. But sometimes I don't like that. But every time you open a new, you know, Animate program, it'll reset it. So no matter what, if you like the other option, you'll always have to keep resetting and that gets annoying. So, anyway, that's just weird tech pet peeve that no one cares about. So, I'm realizing stuff like that now. Okay, how you doing? Boop boop boop. Fan of anything darker, more dramatic, like cutesy and cartoony stuff. Your only interest? I would say so. That I lean more towards the softer side, I guess. Trying to think. I guess I like some adult cartoons, but I like all of them, you know? SCP. I've never known what that is or what that even stands for. I've never got into that. I might have like accidentally referenced it just because there's a billion of them, I believe. So I believe at some point I might have like, oh man, these stairs are really freaking me out, and be like, whoa, did you just reference that? It's like I have no idea. So yeah. But anyway, I've been getting into Rick and Morty, and then getting into like The Simpsons. I know that's, oh wow, Simpsons is really edgy, but it's like, yeah, sort of. I suppose in the '90s when I, started to watch like the first couple of seasons. Right now, it's like, yeah, it's really not. But it's like some of those. I started to watch South Park on Hulu, and I made it to like maybe like season 3 or something. But I just have like a really bad or really good sense of not liking gore. So I think in one of the South Park episodes there was like, let's show everything that's actually nightmare fuel. Like like they were trying to torture something, or like some character. But I know it was like a really fast like boop 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 flashes of like really actually disturbing like photos of things, and I was like, okay, everything else was pretty fine, like, it's like, ooh, we're crass and wow, that's pretty edgy, and now it's like, oh, this isn't fun anymore, I can't laugh at that, like making fun of disabled people, and it's like, oh dear. Everything else was fine, but then it's like, nope, that's a bit far, so yeah. So I kind of like stop when things kind of get a little bit weird or like too far for me. Honestly, just I lose interest after like watching, because I tend to like binge it in a way, but like a moderate binging, where I'll watch maybe like at most like 3 or 4 episodes a day, but I watch that every day. So I don't know if you call that binging if it's over a month to watch a couple seasons. So I don't know at that point. But anyway, yeah, I would watch several episodes at a time, just to get it kind of quick. But then it's like, one thing it's good too much, and it's just like, I'm good. Like, I don't need to watch. I get tired of it because I probably watched it too much in that kind of short session. So that's probably just my own fault with that. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Season 4 outerns. Yeah, I probably started around maybe 3.5 on South Park. So, yeah. I should. Oh. So I like someone's gone far side of it. Ooh, okay. Whoa, okay. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I think it's just more like a guilty pleasure to like, stop watching like Care Bear stuff. It's like I don't watch Care Bears, but it's like that kind of realm where it's just like it's happy fun time. It's like I need to watch something else. Be like, it's like, oh, I can watch this instead, and all those kind of stuff. Those kind of shows. So, right now, I don't think I'm watching any of them. Or like I took a little break from Simpsons. I think had like a weird like um, New Year's resolution to like watch every Simpsons because it was on Disney Plus. So I started from like where I thought I was, but I thought I was at season 2, where I thought I watched all of season 1. I knew that I watched all of season 1, but then I somewhere in the middle of season 2, like as I was watching it this year, I was like, I think I've seen these, but then it's like, yeah, they're good anyway, so I'll just watch them anyway. So, you know, it's just like, okay, you know, we're just gonna watch them anyway, kind of a thing. So, so I haven't watched them in a while, but I think I got to maybe like season. I mean, I probably checked, but it's like 4 or 5. It's only like lower digits kind of a thing. Like they're not really that impressive, I guess. But like, you know. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. So I'm gonna get rid of these. Change Sweetable to frame 1 again. I'm trying to make the motion of like the transition between here to here. So, trying to think how much animation to do with this. So I'm trying to tell the story throughout it. Here, like Sweetball comes out, and then should be like ready, and then maybe she like stays here. Maybe she goes down. So boop boop. And then Rarity can come out. Actually, she's coming out of the tent. And then Sweetable. Your size got a little smaller. Sorry, I had to pay attention to this. Oh yeah, I guess my sort of like creepy stuff is I like, I guess I like watching Markiplier and like watching his scary video game stuff. Where he's like, oh, I'm gonna play Spooky Mansion 5, and it's like, wow, okay, you know, I'll watch that with you, or you know, as you play it. I guess that's kind of the good pleasure of that. That is like, oh, look, hey, this is spooky. You went in the house and you got scared, kind of thing. Like, that's fun. I guess that's not really Schadenfreude by definition, but it's like a little bit. So, but yeah, I guess I like doing that. Yeah, there's not much else that I would say that I've really partaken darker side, but it's just kind of a nice yin and yang. I don't know. Okay. I should lock the storyboard like that into folder. Okay. So the boop 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 kind of thing, and then we can animate to that. Where boop boop boop. That's probably how we're probably gonna animate it. Probably on 3s or 2s, wherever we need to do. Just boop boop boop. So it'll just say like, oh, it's animating. Let's say stop loop there. There we go. Okay. And then whatever they do here, they'll animate to this, and then say let's go, and then board shake, and then there, and then whatever else happens, and then they come back. Okay. Okay. So I was just gonna make sure that all this stuff works. So, all right. Who's here? Who's talking? That's a lot of words. Probably not gonna read all of that. I'll definitely read everything afterward. But if there's anything like for me, now it's getting a lot more discussion-y. So if there's anything directly towards me you wanted me to answer, maybe rephrase it shorter with the at. So I'll look at that better. Otherwise, now it's just a wall of text that I'm scared to read now. Now that I got into like this weird horror bit now, and it's like I don't know if I wanna know what you guys are talking about anymore. You know what I mean? Oh, you guys are trying to do some camp stories, which makes sense. This, that, now. There you go. Maybe there's a scene of them, like, Sweetie Belle telling Rarity a scary story. I should have watched the camping episode to get more inspiration. Ooh, favorite villain from a cartoon. I mean, there's a lot of like anti-heroes. Like, what do I like? Like Peridot from Steven Universe. I guess I like those kind of like reform villains that are just, you know, like they come off as like I'm super evil, or I'm just doing my job, or it's like I'm gonna stop you, Steven, from like doing that. Stop it, kind of thing. And then it's like, oh well, now you're domesticated, and now you're, you know, you're gonna have fun here now, kind of thing. So, if that counts, I'll say Peridot. Or however you say it, like Peridot. I don't know if it's like French or something like that. Change these to be single frames and on each frame here. So, and then when we get to here, this will be 5, and then this will be loop. So then she'll blink. So there we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I see that stars. So just talking about scary things. So I'm, you know, a little hesitant. To know what you guys are doing. So that's good. That's good. Or I could flip it, like her legs could flip, like direction, like instead, like this could be up, and this one could be down. Because that's more, it seems different, but it's like just flipping it kind of thing, and it works fairly well. And then we flip it back, and then flip it back. Boop. Okay. Yeah. I'll have to see like what my analytics for all that was, for the Twitter thing was, for the comic. Because that was a lot more than I expected. Boop. Yeah. Maybe it's the only one cartoon. Oh, wow. Yeah. Discord's really good. I'm sure that brought a lot of people into the fandom if people were like on the fence, I suppose. Because it was at like at the perfect time to like add like a very like high profile guest star showing it. Because then it's like all the staff knows pretty much how all the characters, you know, you're in a groove enough to like know how all the characters should act and like know how things should work. So it's really interesting to think about that. Discord might have helped people get into MLP. I'm sure that might have helped. If my family were not interested already, like season 1, then that might have helped a lot of people. He's a really cool character. I never really watched Star Trek or like any of them to like really know like, oh, he's kind of like Q. Wow, that's cool. More so than, wow, this guy's pretty cool, weird guy, and what even is he? He's some kind of creepy beast who's hurting, messing with the pony's heads. Wow, kind of a thing. So, Avatar. Oh yeah, that was really good. I watched that when it was airing. But that was at a time where I wasn't really into anime, really, or like knew about the anime tropes. So everything was kind of like new to me. Of like, wow, when someone said something, kind of innocent or like pretty dumb sounding, then all the characters, have this like exaggerated face and like you hear like one bell sound or something. And it's like, oh, that's funny. I've never seen that before. Kind of a feeling. So. That was like weird territory of that where it's like, huh, this is really cool. Kind of long form narrative that it's not really too seen in Western cartoons. So I watched all of Avatar, and that was really fun. The movie, I don't know, not so much. I don't know if it's like the general bias or how people perceived it, but it's just like it works as a movie somewhat. It's like, I don't know. It's been a while. I haven't even seen it over. Jeez, it's been like over 10 years, hasn't it? Oop. Okay, got an email. But yeah. Yeah, Avatar will take a bit to watch. Not as long as, like longer anime. Definitely will take a while. But Avatar should be like pretty quick. It's like 5 seasons, I think, maybe 4. I don't remember, but like a lot of them, only take like, obviously they're only 20 minutes. That helps in that regard too. But with the long form, it actually becomes less repetitive than you'd think. They do a really good job of keeping it fresh, of like constantly moving between different areas and different worlds, and well, on the same world, but like different places around the world. Here we go. Let's see. Try to get this walk and pose, and then we're back to here. Okay, so bop, bop. An alternate way to do this would be to make each of these a separate duplicate of a symbol. But I think this works just as well, especially the way that I'm doing it, is that they're pretty much just still anyway. It kind of feels like they're almost stop motion or like fast motion because of that as well. Do. Everything kind of also sells it that it's fast because of the trees move really quick. So I think that works pretty well. Let me know what you think of that. And then bop. Okay, now here, let's see how much time we got. I know that the talking about comics earlier kind of took a bit, but this might take, definitely not this stream, but probably take probably before March, I would think, because I know February is the shortest-ish, officially a month, but let's see. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, early cartoons are pretty, or early anime is pretty interesting. Like tried to watch like an episode of Astro Boy, you know, from the 50s, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, it's definitely completely different from like anime today, but it still has like some small elements that you can like see and pick out and go, oh, look, that's something that anime still does, kind of thing. You always posted your animations to Twitter. Well, not from the start. I never. I think I was just using Twitter to just post, like, well, I guess my cartoons and then other random tidbits that I might have. But then I kind of stopped doing that because wasn't quite confident in my personality. So, or like my dumb jokes that never really went anywhere. So, yeah. I usually prioritize my DeviantArt more because I feel like that's a more art place. But I guess if people are obviously more interested in Twitter, then might make more efforts. But usually just diversify it as much as I can anyway. So, as well as with these, that I'm posting these loops on DeviantArt and Twitter just because Twitter's like, eh. Well, I didn't have like, you know, thousands of, I was gonna say subscribers on Twitter, but whatever you call them there, to really make a difference, more so than the more compact version of DeviantArt, where if you post something on DeviantArt, then there's a higher likely that people will see it, you know, on their feed or whatever. I don't even know how that works. So, but yeah. Might get more attention, yeah. But I'll see if this, when I tweeted earlier that I'm doing this stream with the link to this. So we'll see if people are from that. Hi. That are new. So, but yeah. I don't know. Social media is weird. I don't think we'll ever understand how it really works. It just kind of just works. I mean, as a teenager, never really. I was always the quiet kid who never really spoke up. Even even like in college, it was that I had a professor, whatever you want to call him. He was like an English professor, so he was one of those guys, you know, who were like, you know, when the author writes "the sky was blue," you know, he's like, you know, this has a lot more meaning than you think, and if you think it has less, then you're wrong, kind of personality. So I never really saw eye to eye with either of us. We had a weird conversation or relationship, but where I was complete opposite of, like, you know, sky's blue. It's like, oh, I could see a nice pretty blue, you know. It's like, ooh, I wonder what kind of blue it is, you know. Is it like a baby blue, or is it like one of those more saturated blues, you know? Where I'm thinking about it that way. Kind of a setting the mood kind of thing, which might be more what the author was thinking in the first place. So, ooh. But I had him as well as a film kind of critiquer, kind of a reviewer in learning, lecturing about film. So I was like, oh, this will be great, you know. I like film. You know, I like all the cinematography, and it's like, I thought it would help as well as secondary for my cartoons to learn about composition and cinematics and how to make good scenes that are be impactful and recognizable forever or whatever. But he was like, you know, I was just quiet because I knew that the I felt like every answer that I would give would be wrong, so I just kind of just gave up at that point. It's just like I got too shy, and I was like, I'm not gonna, you know, raise my hand for anything. But I must have made the mistake of sitting in the front row center to him. So we were like in a small like room. I could draw it. Where it had like a room door and then a projector, like one of those projector things, computer, and then like these rows of seats like this, and then window. So I sat here, he would like go around here and then talk, and then we watched a movie. So there was like one guy that sat over there, but everyone else was like over here. So it that was probably my problem, was that I kind of set myself up for that. But yeah, there'd be times where you just kind of just get, and what do you think, you know, directly to me, and it's like, I think it's this, and he's like, no. So it's like, yeah, great, all right. Yeah, it was like the opposite of like the improv classes of like, yes, and it was like, no, but. So there was a time of like, hey, there's like 5 different choices that this scene could be. Is it, you know, the Dante's Inferno, you know, kind of cliche? Is it the Faustian version of this cliche? You know, and there's a whole bunch of other ones. And it's like, what do you think? And it's like, oh, I think it's, well, it's got a devil in it, or some guy. So I think it's Faustian. He's like, no. And then when it went off, so I was like, yeah, all my redeem. Anytime that I can redeem myself is like, I was wrong. That was really rough. But like watching the movies, you know, like doing the homework was to watch a movie and then answer like a couple questions about it. So thankfully those kind of questions were like, and what did Bill Murray do after he realized that the Groundhog Day was real? And I was like, ooh, I know. Kind of like questions. So I was like, cool. It's like a book report for films. So that was really fun for the homework, where you just like sit back and just watch, you know, movies like that. So, the other times it was just really rough and just super awkward with that. I'm not animating just because I don't know exactly what I want. And I got off on the topic of that. So sorry about that. Yeah. I don't remember what the other options were, but I know that I said like Faustian, so I don't even know I don't even remember what the question was or what even the answer was, but I just knew my answer. That's kind of how memories work about that. I think I might end in here. Just so we can be more fresh from next time. So, not only got like that much, but I drew the hat. I drew a pretty pink hat, kind of a thing. So, yeah, I think next time we'll work on the other bits and see what other kind of bits we'll have to do. Those will be more complicated with the bee stings. Yeah, I'm not really feeling about trying to figure out how to get this animation of what I really want out of this. I know that I got the board just to do it, but I'm not sure what kind of motion to get out of it, or like how long it should be. I mean, I could, but I'm not sure what really I want. So I think next time I'll probably have a better idea, or I'll definitely think about it more. So, because now that there's a lot of conversation with this, I want to make sure I have time to talk about that too. How many people say I made a pink cat and a pink scarf? There you go. And as well as animating them going whoopity whoops kind of a thing. I could add one little bit here where like the tent itself could like open a bit, kind of like this, but without rarity. So it could be open like this, and then over here, kind of a thing. And then set this to 70, then frame still. So bop. and then here I can like close back to 71, which I'll set back to resting position here, and then that should be good. Ah! There you go. Let's go to storyboards. There's always one layer on top. No, it's a bunch. Whoop. Yep, there we go. Alright. Yeah, we're just about on time anyway, so before trying to animate two characters without very, very direct direction of what I want to do, I think we'll end here. So, alright. I'm going towards time, and I think that might be easier than trying to do anything else. So, thank you for watching. The next stream will be, next part and stream of this will be on Thursday, around the same time. So I only do this for an hour, but you can see how we get a lot of compact work in this. So, thanks. Alright. I'll pay attention to chat a little bit more, and then once that kind of dies down and or I get tired, whatever happens first, then we'll end. Well, I'll see what we do. Okay. Made a green hat 3 days ago. Did I make a green hat? I don't know, but I made a cowboy hat. Well, that was like a red sketch. For this project, I made a red sketch hat, I think. But yeah. Was I gonna change the tent? Besides just trying to open it and close it? Or like, I think this design works pretty well. I'm pretty happy with how that looks. I know it's not like, yeah, it's clean enough that it's like, yeah, it works kind of a thing. I'm not really looking to change it much. Yeah, making a hat would be a pretty fun job. I'm just slowly going through all your comments. It's first time in a child. Whoa, that was words. Got a stream first time in a while. Nice. Welcome. No, it's ended now, but yeah, thanks for joining. That's right. Alright. Made it ugly green is around yourself to change it. Oh, yeah. Oh, the tent? I think I'm kind of like liking this weird green now. It's almost like semi-camouflage, you know? I think I just kind of like that green now. It's obviously like recoloring is easy to do. Changing geometry is harder, especially if you start animating it. Then it's like things start to fall apart by then. But I think I like the color of the tent. Unless people are like, no, it's like hideous green, change it. People like got crying about that. Then I'll start looking. But I'm pretty happy with how that looks. And orange. Well, right now, what you assigned was that it was tinted a little bit to be orange. So it's not quite true colors. Maybe once we see it in that light, then we can get a better estimate of how it'll look. But like that kind of color spectrum might be a bit harsh if we... Reds are very, you know, bold and hot. It's a hot color, so playing with red is a little bit tricky because the way that I do the pastel colors, pretty much everything that I do in this kind of style is very pastel. So that just means it's on a very light, like you add a lot of white into the colors, so everything's kind of like washed out kind of feeling. So it's tinted orange. I meant tinted, but yes. But yeah, if it's like a pastel red, it tends to become more pink. But I guess that kind of works with the character. So like, you have to start thinking about that as well. Like, what kind of colors would, if your favorite characters go to a shop and they can buy a blender in whatever color they want, what color would they get? And that's a fun thing that I just made up. Kind of a scenario. So started to think like if they could buy things from any kind of color they can have, what would they choose? Is an interesting exercise to like get more into your kind of character psyche and try to figure out like, oh, would they get the blender with piston rotors and 3 automatic gears in black? I think when I was describing that, I think I was thinking of like the mixer utensil, rather, where it's got the like the egg batter sticks where it spins around. While I was also saying it's a blender, so yeah, probably should end pretty soon. If there's anything else that I missed in that big discussion that I was like starting to like lose a bit of that conversation, let me know. I'll definitely read everything afterward, but if there's something that's like, well, what's your opinion on it, and then now might be a good time while it's still fresh and actually still live. So, you know, get a drink of water. A little bit more. Otherwise, I think we're pretty good. Let me check the stats on it now. Oh my gravy. I think when I started I had 500 likes. I now have 700. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit more than I expected. I mean, I'll have to see what the DeviantArt has. Nope. That is completely eclipsing the DeviantArt. Because it's always been the DeviantArt has always been slightly better interactions, you can say. So I'm very surprised that this happened in this way. Yeah. Ooh, I only got 6 likes on DeviantArt. I mean, that's still incredible. I'm yeah, I don't know how to take this. This is, I'm always like, you know, trying to make something to get, you know, a least bit of attention, you know. So it's this is blowing it out of the water. Yeah, just right now I'm just in shock of how this all transpired. This is great. This has never happened. This has never happened before. To me. So, wow. Thanks. I'm sure the next thing I post will be extremely inferior. That's why I was saying like I need to have like some kind of spur of the moment kind of like inspiration. That helps more so than I'm gonna make something that's gonna blow your pants off kind of a thing. Starting with that attitude will be not very good. The end product will not be as good. Rather than this, you know, literally just chugged it out. Like I was, you know, it was getting late. I was like, I want to get. I was like, practically like dying of starvation. I didn't really have dinner. I had like a big brunch that day, but I didn't have a dinner. So when I came home, I was just like, I got the idea. Let me just do this. Yeah, this will be dumb. Whatever. And then I was like, it's probably too late to post it now. So I posted this morning, you know, and I was like, it's 9:58. Who cares if it's not on the hour? Which I usually do, where I try to post things like at the hour so that people who happen to look at the hour will see it. But apparently that's the secret sauce of getting it 2 minutes before the hour. 9:58. Whatever your time zone is. It's probably noon for East people. Oh. maybe that's it too. That'll be 11:58 for East Coast. That's when I posted it. So maybe that's a sweet time too. But yeah. Anyway, this has been never expect a viral. You can, yeah. You never know just the sheer quantity of it. Like I never expected Derpy test to like get 4 million plus views. But it's always like the things of like, oh, this is dumb. It's like conflicting of like, you know, like I'm on the red carpet and everything, but this is to me the internal conversation is like I could have done way better. Like I spent more time on it. I could have made this a little bit cleaner. Like some of the animation in it, I'm not quite happy with. But it's just like I'm just gonna post this for whatever. This is for lols. Like no one's gonna look at it too squirrely or whatever. So, Alfred. Never actually said that out loud. Alfred. Something like that. Had him doing Q&A with plain the no internet Chrome dinosaur file. Oh wow. So good, I might recommend. I mean that's just how YouTube works on that level, where you get like tags that are like following you around. Alpharad. Okay, thanks. Where YouTube will like track whatever kind of tags you do. Like even on the mobile version, they have like at the top like, we think you're interested in these tags, and it's like, you're right. These are things that I just looked up. Wow, thanks YouTube, kind of a thing. Like, yes, I am interested in that thing that I looked up. Thanks. Like, yes, I would like to see more of that same thing that I already looked at that I would like to see more of. Yeah, it's kind of weird with that, but like it kind of limits discovery in that sense, you know? Like if I only watch, you know, Splatoon stuff, then I won't see any Pikmin stuff in weird sense like that, you know. So if it keeps recommending me same stuff over and over, like these certain tags, and that might be a little bit different. But apparently either you like Alphabet or Chrome or Internet or some kind of intersection of tags, and if you watch a video again that, or a new video that has a certain tag that goes even like 50 tags deep, but it's like YouTube is like trying to connect them to like say like, oh well, maybe you like this dinosaur video. Dinosaur, search through all these files. Oh, we got this popular video that people like. Recommend you this, and it's like, oh well, thanks, but okay. Kind of a feeling. So yeah. Again, I'm not sure how to like one up this, but I'll try to be consistent, because that's probably better. I don't know when the next comic will be. I have a much more loose schedule to comics. As you might notice, that they're not like, I don't have a daily or weekly or monthly schedule to these. But I think right now is just trying to find like the right sauce kind of a thing. And I think I might have hit it. Where I've just been experimenting, like that first one with the Derpy like inner monologue, like what is life? Like that was a 6-panel thing, and I realized that I could have fixed a couple things, like the text size was really small. That was a bit too long and didn't really fit on most browsers. Like if you looked at that like in Twitter or like DeviantArt, mobile or whatever ways that you look at it, it like cropped it off, or like was too small, or like you had to like flip it landscape view for the 6-panel Derpy inner monologue one. It just yeah, didn't quite work with that kind of aspect ratio. So with this one, I tried to do just a really small 4-panel square resolution 1920 by 1920 box, and then trying to make a story out of that. So, good thing is that I see a lot of problems with the one that got viral, so I can know how to fix things. Like, that might also be another thing that we kind of talked about at the beginning of whether or not, how do I follow up on it? Is that I now know that what I have isn't perfect, so I can keep striving for this uber perfection kind of thing where I'm happy and everyone else is happy, and no complaints or nothing political or anything like that. Oh, I can get political with it. Oh, that'll be fun. Or like a really parody political thing. Yeah. See, this is how ideas spring up. So I see problems with this thing, so I can, moving forward, know of those mistakes or hazards to be cautious of, in a way that I can say, oh, I can get political. Well, just like this weird thought of like, oh yeah, I could get political, but not essentially in, you know, ones and zeros of how it really is. But like, yeah, that'd be sort of interesting. But yeah, anyway, it has enough room for betterness that I can get gooder with it in another comic or another project. So, blatant, regular, other stuff I'm doing. Quick lightning round. No. Oh no. No politics. Sorry. No politics for anyone else either. That's in the rules now. But anyway. Derby movie. It hasn't been much progress in the last week, but I made a lot of progress last week where I made a bunch of music. Starting to write some music. It's been really fun to like figure out how to start to make like the fledglings of motifs or light motifs through music. That's been really fun to figure out and like find ways to like include it or save it for later and go, ooh, like, ooh, if I do this in a different key, then it might be a nice payoff later or something. I found some new references for later scenes. Like, I didn't know how to make a certain prop, or like what kind of prop it should be. So I finally got an inspiration to make it a certain type of prop. So I'm happy to work on, or keep developing on that now that I got a better. Cause that's the thing of like, I'm still a little bit hazy on most of the fine details of most of it. It's still not 100% in stone of all the different designs. Like, a lot of it still is just basic sketches and storyboards. They're not exactly there's no design documents for a lot of the different sets and props and a lot of characters either. So most of it is just now just what I've been showing you is basically all I've really done, save for like a couple important characters. But other than that, it's been mostly just chronological of like, here's prologue part 1, let me work on that. Oh, here's prologue part 2, I'm gonna work on that next, kind of a thing. So way later scenes like in part 4, a lot of that is not has no design docs of like, oh, this is what it's supposed to look like, or this is what it could look like. This is not designed yet. So it's more like, oh, once I get there, then I'll start thinking about it. But it's like, I need to start thinking about the next one a little bit. So but yeah, once I get the music done for the prologue, then it should be ready to upload. A little bit nervous about it, because then it's like, oh, well, when's the next part? It's gonna be the first comment. So, not sure, and hold your horses. It's gonna be, it's done when it's done, kind of a thing. I mean, right now I just worked on today I worked on the opening credits, like my name. There was like a water effect that I decided to redo. So it's still, even that I've already finished in a way, or at least is complete in a state. I'm still tinkering around with it. So yeah, it's just gonna be when I finish the music and just be happy with the animation, which I'll never be, because I always want to add more, you know. When I always add those like CG dinosaurs in the back, you can never have enough little, you know, hijinks of dinosaurs. And then they draw the Java around. Haha, that's funny, kind of a thing. So, probably won't go that far of like actually developing that kind of stuff, but just enough that it seems like it's fairly decent. I'm sure once I like compile it into like the final quote movie, where it'll be like the 10-minute version in one video, then hopefully I'll have time to edit it to make it like a DX version of some sort. So I think everyone's gone, so I think that might be a good time to say that I should be gone too. So thank you again. More stuff in the future. Sorry that I can't say specifics on a lot of this, other than soon, and maybe I'll work on it, kind of a thing. I've just been so busy with other stuff, and it's just been hard to know. The music is pretty much my crutch of like, well, I guess opposite of crutch, where it doesn't really help me. It's if it doesn't really work. So, I don't know what metaphor it is, but anyway, it's just been tricky but fun at the same time, of like how to try to get the right feel for it, you know, trying to pick up the right instruments and timings, and basically just developing a new kind of style of like art with the music. So once I kind of get like a nice groove into it, and like, you know, really get into that groove of how the music works, then once things kind of get a little bit faster of figuring out how the software I'm using to make the music is more understood, then next part should be hopefully sooner than I think, which will be a long time. So anyway, yeah, thanks you guys for watching. I shouldn't repeat myself so I can finish this. So yeah, thank you again. Okay, bye bye.